welcome to an all-new On the Line. In this episode, we'll be talking to head coach of Goucher's women's soccer team, Angela Amato, as well as MSYSA's own Jimmy Shiflett, director of Summer Soccer Academy, and so much more. Happy New Year. Welcome to OTL as we kick off a brand new year. I'm Priestley, and we've got a guest today who's got deep roots here in Maryland soccer, a powerful journey through the game. Angela grew up in Baltimore County, and you developed your love for soccer at a pretty young age. You went on to compete at the collegiate level, which is amazing. I can't wait to talk about that. And after success of playing, you transitioned into becoming a coach for grassroots, club, and now collegiate level as well. So today, Angela Amato serves as the head coach at Goucher College. You're a pool coach with us, MSYSA, and an assistant coach with Baltimore Armor, such an elite group. We are so excited, friends. Let's welcome Angela to the show. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm excited. It's a brand new year. Here we are. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
And we are launching an enormous soccer year. I mean, we've got the World Cup coming.
Yeah.
We've got some great things to talk about. So I want to get to know you a little bit. Baltimore roots. Let's talk. How did your journey with soccer begin? I heard it started at quite a young age.
Yes. I don't really have a first memory of soccer. Like soccer and my relationship with it, it's just all backyard, right? It's backyard playing with my dad, my siblings, even like keep away with the dog.
Yes. See, this is how soccer actually, I think about fun. Pele. This is the way he came up.
Right? It's one of those things that, looking back on it, I remember my first games. I remember some of the early moments in like youth soccer. But for me, it's just always really been a big piece of me and my identity. I had the privilege of growing up with a father who played soccer at really high levels. Yeah. My dad had a really good soccer career, which was kind of unusual. He's older, he's in his 80s, but had a really great career as a college soccer player, and then going into playing like semi-professional leagues. So
my notes say he was D1 Loyola.
Yeah.
Epic.
I want to say class of 54, yeah.
Go Pops.
The man's he's got some legacies in the archives.
You're giving me the goosebumps. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Apple didn't fall far.
Well, I think it's a really good example for me of like, if you work really hard for something that you want and you're just really relentless in like your work ethic, like why can't you go after that? Why can't you?
I like that.
Pull yourselves into spaces where you want to be and where you think you deserve to be. So that was something that I feel like planted really
we're kind of skipping ahead, but that plays into your college world because you were a walk-on, and we're going to get into that. Let's focus more on the youth for the moment,
sure,
though,
yeah.
Because when I was learning about you, you kind of said Dad didn't know how to navigate the youth soccer world, which cracked me up because he was a virtual professional. And how and why, and I get it because being a dad of teens and they were SAC players, and I know you're familiar.
Yes.
It was very different from when I played.
Yes. The landscape, I think that's the cool thing about soccer. Like there's such a thread, right? There's a universal thread of the sport and the knowledge and the IQ, but the landscape itself it's changing rapidly.
Evolving.
And it's
the country's had a
right?
lot to catch up as far as the world stage goes too.
Totally. So like when he was developing as a player, coming into Baltimore, it's an immigrant city, right? You get a lot of Italians, Greeks, you get everybody under the sun.
We are a mixing bowl right here for sure.
Total mixing bowl. And so you've got these people coming into the city who are blue collar industry workers. And so he had the privilege, growing up in Dundalk of playing with people from all over the world. Ended up going and playing Division I at Loyola College, and then started in the Maryland Majors, which was at the time really kind of developing in the area. It was one of the men's, I think, semi-professional leagues.
Really? Because I don't think I've ever even heard of that, to be fair.
Someone can fact check me on that.
Sure.
But I've had the privilege of meeting some players that he played with over the years. And, I think one of the coolest things that you hear about is really like, it is that, like the grassroots element that can then go on to something else. What's next?
Big.
I even think, he used to talk all the time about he played with like some of the Nichols families, who are still involved in Loyola. But it's that kind of like Baltimore heritage that he's really proud of. And I took a lot of pride in as a young soccer player.
Well, we are all quite Maryland proud, I think, when you come up through this state. Well, congratulations on the success and not going the typical route.
Yes.
Which, to be very fair, and I've spoken about this, can be quite pricey too.
Sure.
So for a lot of people who are financially challenged, there is alternate paths.
Yes, absolutely. And so my path, I view it now as non-traditional, but at the time, it didn't feel like something that I was really against the grain. But growing up, I played in youth rec leagues. I played in my elementary school's Catholic Youth League.
A
couple local travel and club teams. But really, for me, the recruiting landscape was not something that I was super familiar with, mostly because my parents were older and a little bit of a generational gap. Yeah, exactly. It does that. And so I was really lucky to have coaches at the club level who would pull me in to maybe, guest play at showcases and tournaments and things like that. But ultimately, I think it kind of freed me up to look at a college that I wanted to go to. That if all else failed, if I broke my leg, I'd still love going there.
There you go.
And
Smart.
Yes. And I think a lot of players struggle navigating that,
It's true.
How do I know if I'm going to be happy where I end up?
It's hard, actually.
It's so hard.
Sometimes it's a dice roll even.
It's a dice roll, right? That's life. But I think that's one of those empowering moments as a young person, right? Of you love the game, how do I build those instincts and trust those instincts to really seek out what could be really great for me?
You did real well.
Oh, that's kind.
I'm just saying.
That's kind.
I'm overly impressed. Let's jump ahead. From your youth experience to becoming a walk-on at Susquehanna University, which is a D3 school. Now, to me, that's amazing. I have a son who, again, played within SAC and all that world, high school ball, but never was going to play college ball, at least recruit-wise.
Yeah.
But said, maybe, Dad, I'll try walking on.
Yeah.
And he didn't go that route, but what made you feel the confidence and to choose that route? Because I find that fascinating.
Yeah, I think it goes back to when you are an athlete and competing against people, whether it's on the field, on the track, whatever you're doing, I think that athletes have this just wonderful competitive advantage of that confidence building, that confidence boosting. I think I struggled in some ways that athletes might have, like, oh man, what's this going to look like? Like,
it's weird.
Am I
doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right?
Batting above, or punching above my weight class, right? Like, what's this look like? But I think for me, it was, I know that whatever it looks like, I'm going to prepare as much as possible. I am going to, and this was my mantra, I'm going to be the fittest person there. Doesn't matter if I'm the most technical, the most skilled, but I know that once I get into that arena, I'm going to outwork whoever's in front of me and whoever's next to me.
That's a big part of the game too.
Right?
Big part.
It's a gritty sport.
Yes.
You have to be tenacious. And I remember that was the word that my coach that year used.
Tenacious.
And I had no idea what it meant. I was like, thank
isn't
you.
That a band with Jack Black?
Right. I was like, okay. I will take that. But yeah, she said to me after tryouts, she sat me down, and this was the first year players who were receiving their end of preseason evaluations. And she was like, boy, is this a blessing that you're here. You have such tenacity, some work to be done.
It's fair.
But,
But that's life. We're always working.
You're always working. You won the beep test. Whew. Boy, did that send a message. Right?
Yes.
And I think
felt it.
you feel it, right? And I want to, going back to the idea of could I walk onto a program? The landscape keeps changing, right? This was 2014.
Okay.
But in that respect, coaches, their mindsets haven't changed. If someone comes in and is fit, works tremendously hard, has a great attitude, wants to get better, and just brings nothing but positives to the environment, who am I to say no to that?
That's a wonderful teammate.
Incredible teammate.
I mean, that seriously is what you're looking for.
And it's character building and boosting, right? And at the end of the day, most college coaches are thinking, what's the character of this group going to look like? Who's going to mold that? And so I think that for anyone who wants to walk on or is maybe like questioning, is this the right move for me? Think about what you bring to the table. Not what you're going to take away, but what am I bringing? How am I changing this team for the better?
Again, you're a living positive. You're just a plus sign on a team that's looking to help and be helped. Let's be honest.
That's right.
When you help, others help you. We all grow together.
Totally.
And speaking of growing, Defender of the Year, freshman year, and then you were all conference team sophomore and senior year?
The Defender of the Year award was an internal award, I will say. Susquehanna, during my time, so we were in the Landmark Conference, which is a very competitive conference in the region currently. Scranton University's in that, and they're a powerhouse. Beast Catholic. Drew University's always been good. And then Goucher College is in that conference as well. So for me, coming in as a first-year player and getting that recognition from my teammates and my coaches,
amazing,
super cool. And then
that had to make you feel good.
It sure did, and it sounds sappy, but it was that moment of like, you know, it made my dad proud, it made my family proud.
I love that,
and that was really special. Yeah,
it is important. I completely get that. We're going to talk about it. You made a mention in our pre-interview of this imposter syndrome, and I'm not going to lie, I have been feeling it myself personally due to personal situations, and it's teamwork that helps us get through that, and then also helps us to see the strength within ourselves that then we could put that imposter mentality away.
Oh, yeah.
Insecurities they're rampant throughout the world.
And we all have them.
And through everybody.
Yes.
So I love that you were able to take it, address it, and then grow from it. And leave it there. It's awesome. And I could tell as a coach that you totally instill that value into your players as well.
I try to. It's an uphill battle to be a young person in sports, to be a young person in the world. Comparison is what the thief of joy, but it's also the neighbor that we see every day, right? It's hard for us to really put some insecurities in our back pocket and say, okay, I'm going to revisit you, but right now I need to focus on the task at hand. And so I really do try to take a strengths-based approach with my athletes, right? Like
this too, I said this to Jimmy, I say this to a lot of the people that are on the line. We learn so many lessons within the team, on the field, and this one about insecurities is another one of those lessons that we learn there, and we can transition to so many different aspects of our personal lives. This is why soccer is such a beautiful sport. Yep. This is why what you do as a coach, you've done co-ed playing as well, because you love this sport.
You love it.
And it loves you back.
You can't turn it off.
No. It's in the blood.
Yeah.
I've said this with, we had Anna Mayoral on from the Washington Spirit. It truly is. Football is life. Yeah. Soccer is in the blood.
Yeah.
So the more you play, the more you get into it, the more you coach, the more you grow. I mean, it's just awesome. So let's talk now about the transition from player to coach. There was a little dead space in there where you were not involved in the sport. What brought you to coaching?
Yeah. Definitely. So I graduated from college in 2014, and I moved to a new city. A couple years later, I moved to DC, and in 2017, I had the privilege of meeting. She's a current MSYSA coach, Amanda Casares.
Shout out,
Coach Mandy. And she was like, "Hey, you played college soccer. What are you doing not coaching?" And she really pulled me into the grassroots and the club scene in DC, and kept on advocating for me to like get more involved. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, I've been out of this for a couple years. Like, I can play, but like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. I'm not able to lead and teach and grow.
Right.
But yes, you are.
And the imposter syndrome, right? It was just the thing that wanted to speak the loudest.
Right.
So
it's the insecurities from within ourselves. It's not the world.
Totally.
And yes, you can.
Totally. And she was so positive and helpful in really helping me to connect with others too. So it wasn't just one person,
Yes.
telling me I could do this. So, so I got involved with Stoddard Soccer at the time, and then it became DC Soccer Club.
Yup.
And stayed involved with them for several years. And then the coaching bug just kicks in. And then I started coaching more CrossFit, and I started really kind of like recognizing this own like strength of mine. Like I really love coaching.
This is working.
This is kind of working.
This fits.
Yeah. And then I had a really serendipitous opportunity to join my alma mater, to go back to Susquehanna.
That's wild.
Yeah.
How did that present?
The good old-fashioned DM on Instagram,
There you go.
You gotta love it.
DMs.
Slid in. It was so funny because I had the privilege of playing for the current coach there. He stepped in my sophomore year as an interim head coach at Susquehanna, and so Nick Hoover's been there for years. And I saw they posted on Instagram that they were hiring an assistant coach. And it was a time in my career where I was like, this is great, but this is not my life's joy. This is not my life's work. I'm really kind of looking to pivot and to get myself into the space of coaching full time. And so I messaged their current, or at the time their former, I think he was an operations manager, but he was a classmate of mine. And I was like, hey, why is Hoover hiring an assistant coach? Like, what's the deal? Like, what happened? And he was like, I don't know, but do you want me to say something to him? And I was like, no.
Yes. No. Like,
I go, absolutely not. I said, no, that's cool. Like, but I don't, And then he called me and he was like, if you want this job, it's yours.
Wow.
And I go, well, time to step into the space and take the opportunity. So and that was really the turning point. So I spent a season there coaching at Susquehanna as the assistant coach, and we had like the most incredibly talented group that year. It was our year to go to the tournament. Still hurts a little bit. If they know, they'll know.
It's part of the game.
Part of the game, right? A heartbreaker for sure.
Sorry.
And then I got to spend the next 2 years after that at Marymount University in Arlington, Virginia, which was very cool. And they did have a chance to go to the tournament. So,
what was that like?
Oh my gosh.
We're talking the NCAA tournament.
The NCAA tournament, Division III tournament. Marymount's in the Atlantic East Conference, and we had a nail biter of a season. Coach Heather Lip is incredible, and she turned that program around in a couple years. And we both were just kind of pinching each other, like, did we just win again?
Wow.
Did we keep winning? And then we went to the tournament, and then we got our first game was against Christopher Newport, which was, deep breath, and we put up the best fight we could.
Fair. And that's it.
Yeah, and that's it. And it was great.
That's all you can do. You go, you show up, you do the best.
Yep.
You brush it off if it's not the outcome you're looking for. And if it is the outcome you're looking for, well, then great. Let's keep going.
These girls, for the rest of their lives, are going to have a ring that sits on their desk that says, yeah, I did that.
That's awesome.
It's pretty darn cool.
It's very cool.
And people don't get that. In a soccer career, you don't always get those accolades. You don't always get those moments.
Actually, I'd say almost most often you don't.
Correct. So that was one that I think maybe in the moment, I don't know if they knew it was special, but that's a sinker that I think 5 years from now, 10 years from now, they're going to be like, hey, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. The 2020 hindsight.
Yes.
Couldn't agree more.
Yes.
Well, then now this past summer, hired as the head coach at Goucher College. What's it been like? How was the season?
Yeah.
What is going on in the world of head coach at Goucher?
Yeah, head coach at Goucher. It's honestly, I had to once again battle that imposter syndrome. I'm like, well, here this goes, Let's see.
You're no imposter. I'm going to tell you this to your face right here and right now. And I respect the feeling. Because you know what? I do say that feeling keeps us on our A game. Yeah. The minute you kind of feel like, I got this. Mm-hmm. And I've felt this in my industry too. That's like, okay, then the minute I'm done.
Right.
We never got this. We're
Right.
always learning. We're always growing. We're going for that next license. We're trying to learn. We're trying to connect. Mm-hmm. I think you're an all-star.
Oh, you're sweet. it's that though. It's the more people you tell what you want, what you want to achieve, the more they're going to start championing you and cheering for you and rooting for you. So I was really grateful to have people in my experiences at SU and at Marymount really champion me when I was applying to Goucher. And so taking on that role and responsibility, man, we are in a building phase of this program.
Okay.
But I couldn't be less worried about that.
Awesome.
Because Goucher is such a special place. And so coming in, we had a roster that was probably enough to get us through the season. I think we had 16 players rostered.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my, that's not a lot.
Not a lot. But man, when I say that this was the hardest working group of young women and young players we could have asked
Girls,
for.
yes.
Oh my gosh. The attitudes were what a coach dreams of.
Let's go ahead, real quick. What are the attitudes? Go ahead, for people who are paying attention. What?
Hungry, positive. The egos weren't there.
Nice.
Right?
No ego.
No egos. And granted, I think that this is a group that was just so grateful to have a season and to have a coach because the season prior had kind of been rocky, to say the least.
Fair.
And so that attitude of gratitude was, I think, the thing that made it so easy to work with this group. Was it easy work? No. But it was easy to work with them. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a real big difference, right? Like I told him from the start, this is going to be one of the hardest seasons of your life because you've got the biggest challenge in the conference. You've got a mountain to climb. And we didn't have the best record. We didn't have a ton of success when we look at the scores of our games. But we had a group that kept showing up.
I love that.
Kept showing up, working hard, and couldn't wait for what was next.
It's the never give up attitude.
The never give up attitude. And we ended up playing our best game of the season, the last game, which, you know, it's what you want. You don't want things to fall apart. You want them to see their potential.
Keep growing.
Yep.
Keep growing.
Yep.
Incredible. So we're going to talk recruiting and what the future looks like there.
Yeah.
But you also coach the club level and you're assistant coach in Armor?
Yes.
I mean, and that's a very competitive level.
Yes.
I would like to talk a little bit of the differences between the club youth level versus a D3 team, because I really think you have a very interesting perspective on that.
Sure. I will say I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity to coach with Coach Sam and Coach Katie. I come from a Division III world.
Okay.
Where the student athlete is the balance, right?
Yep.
You're there to be an athlete, but you're really there to be a student.
Love it.
And to have the shift of these players, these young women, they aspire to be elite. They work hard to be the best in their sport. And that's incredible. And there's we were laughing about this at practice the other night. There is this work ethic that is just contagious. As soon as it clicks, we don't have to do anything. They are just
it's on.
And they're hungry and they're having fun and they're pushing each other. We give them a little nugget, they go, perfect, I'm off. I'm off to the races. And so that is really cool to see. I think the difference there between the Division III environment is that, yes, there is this aspirational drive to be better and to compete and to really work hard and have something to prove for it. But then when you get to college, your teammates are also your roommates. And they're also your advocates, and they're your classmates, and they're your sometimes frenemies and sometimes not, right?
Yep.
It's all those things, and it's how do we really put all that together and not just create a team that sees each other once a week, twice a week.
Yes.
But we are now really a culture. We're a program.
I dare say family?
Totally.
Right?
Total family,
Right?
Yeah. And families have so many different facets.
Absolutely.
And it's important that I don't want to take away from the club experience because
Of course not.
They are their own family.
Very much.
And it's so cool to see.
It's different.
Different.
It's very different.
Yep.
And again, I've spoken, like, I'm a father, my kids have gone through.
Yeah.
What I hear when you tell me about the classmates, the teammates, the roommates, you're talking about the socialization, and that's what, to me, is the magic gel for a soccer team, or really any team. And I've spoken about this in youth. I've seen it with my own children. We shake them up every year. There's we take some of the better ones, we do this, that, the other. And I do feel like that's a lost art of being team.
It is. And it's hard.
Yes.
There's so much that goes into play with those decisions that parents and players are making. And at a certain point, you can't blame people for moving around, right? You got to change with the times sometimes.
They're young players, they're hungry, and they're trying to grow their game personally.
Totally. I've had conversations with recruits and even people that I've coached, and they're the conversations that make me so happy. They're the ones where a player or a parent goes, they're going to stay with this team even though they've been told they should move on or go elsewhere, or they're like, because they're their best friends. And they're like, we're just having so much fun. And that's so cool.
It is so cool.
It's so special. And I think that really empowering the young athlete to recognize where they are and where they want to be and what their values are. There's never a point in time where someone can't verbalize what they're valuing. They might not use the big right words for it, but maybe they value connection more than winning.
Yes.
Maybe they value being part of a family.
Yes.
Than being an individual. One's not right or wrong, but it's just different.
What fits better for you?
Absolutely. And so when I think about those experiences, and then I think about when you get to college and you do have that cohesive experience, instilling from day one, this is a family. This is your legacy that you get to leave, but it's also the team culture is what you decide it to be. As a coach, I can give you the foundations of what my values are and what I expect. But the culture is going to come from you. The things that are really important to this group, they're all coming from you. So if being part of this and being really integrated in your college life, your teammates' life, all that stuff, if that's important to you, then this is the place for it. So I really try to do a lot of empowering of my athletes as much as possible.
I think it's important to empower them and make them feel comfortable. So now, as a coach, you mentioned recruiting. Mm-hmm. What does that look like for you with this next year coming up? Mm-hmm. And I also want to talk about the other side of it for parents and students who may or may not be getting recruited.
Yes. So couple pieces to that.
Yeah.
First and foremost, as someone recruiting at any Division III school, I will double down on make sure you visit, make sure you're talking to coaches and players, and make sure you love the school. Make sure you love the school. You got to love where you are. They've got to have your program that you're interested in. Just set your tone right there.
It's smart. I think that's great advice.
It's great advice because if you think about it, it's going to come up at some point if you're not happy there.
That's true.
Are you coming to practice sad? Are you coming to practice kind of burnt out because you don't like your school? Well, guess what? You're going to bring that into the team environment, the training environment. Where's that going to go, right?
Yes.
Where's that going to take us?
Smart. That's a great point.
Yeah. So how can we really, really invest some time up front into getting to know the school and the program? As a coach and recruiter, I make sure that I give ample opportunity to have conversations with me. So setting up, phone calls, Zooms, meeting with people after showcases. We're on the road always. So how can I just connect with you a little better? How can I make sure that I'm being as transparent as possible about what we need? And so I really just try to double down on that. How are we starting to get a better understanding of each other, of what you want, what you don't want? And I really just keep things in that world of, if this is a place that you could see yourself, if this is a place where you want to compete and you want to have these experiences, then keep me informed.
Nice. Yep.
You know?
Open lines of communication.
Open lines of communication. One thing I would encourage people who are in the recruiting process of doing is your coach is not going to hate you if you say, hey, I'm no longer interested in Goucher College. It's not the place for me. That is a sign of maturity. That's a sign of bravery and courage, right? So
it's a sign of knowing.
Yeah, and you know, coaches really want to make sure that they're bringing players into their program who have that high character. They're going to be honest. They're going to really like speak from where they think they're coming from. And so when I'm talking to athletes, I just make sure I keep, you know, like checking in, like, hey, if we're still in your top 5, you know, top 10 schools, wherever we are, just let me know if that changes. Let me know why it changes too. If there's something that I can help enlighten you on of a program or whatever. But I really just try to double down. Hey, these are the things that I think that maybe you could work on, or these are the things that I'd love to see in the future. And these are the things that you're really crushing, you're doing great at. And then let's keep building that relationship.
You're amazing. I'm really enjoying just sitting here and listening to you talk. I mean, your players are so fortunate to have you as a coach.
That's kind.
And I have to be honest, we are fortunate to have you. Coach Angela is also a part of MSYSA. Pool coach for ODP. Not 1,000,000% sure what that even means. Does that mean we all go swimming? No.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Let's not add that to the mix. No, pool coach. So MSYSA, when we get to the ODP world, at the ODP level, in our age groups, we have the capacity to have multiple teams within an age group. So typically, you see multiple teams. So for example, the U12 girls, I think they have like 2 to 3 teams within that age group. So you have a pool coach who oversees the whole pool of players in that age group, and then you know our staff coaches are supporting in various capacities. But so my age group, the U17 girls, we are in an age group where we have, I think, roughly like 20 players, which is awesome.
Yeah,
and they're
so good.
We've got returning players too, players who have been involved in ODP for years. We have players who are coming for the first time, players who are coming from across the state of Maryland. So really a really lovely, rich, and diverse group that gets to come and represent Maryland on a competitive stage, which is super fun.
That is super, super cool.
Yeah.
And beyond the ODP, which again is super fun. We're going to be talking to my buddy Jimmy Shiflett, who's the director, I think you may have heard from Summer Soccer Academy.
Yes.
Coach Ange is also a coach with us at SSA. Such a great experience. Would you share some
time of my life?
Yeah.
We love it.
There you have it.
We love it. The coaches group chat, we say, when are we going, guys? Mark your calendars, book it. It's such a good time. And the players are always so, like, they make the camp what it is. When you have that many people on a campus and everyone's running around, there's so much energy and there's so much excitement, and every day they wake up with like a full glass of excitement. And as a coach, it's contagious. You're like, this is great. This is so great, right? And so we have a lot of fun, and the campers work super hard, and they make a lot of memories. And the ones who come back year after year, they know exactly what's going on. They're like, we're doing this day, this that day, and it makes the newcomers feel like, oh, this is what I have to look forward to. This is so cool. So it's really fun. I love it.
Well, we love you, and thank you for being a part of not just MSYSA, but youth soccer on so many different levels, and the impressions that you're making on these incredible athletes. You're a rock star.
Oh, thank you.
Put it here. Boom. All right, if you want to hang out with Coach Angela at Summer Soccer Academy, it's MSYSA.org. We're going to talk more about that with Jimmy. But Coach, it has been so awesome having you here.
Likewise.
Before I let you go, though, we got to do some quick kicks.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yes. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. All righty. Favorite pump-up song before kickoff?
Kesha.
Yes.
TikTok.
I was going to say.
Yes, the OG. Yep.
Love that.
Thank you.
You have a dream stadium to coach a match in?
I don't think I've ever thought about that.
M&T Bank Stadium?
Definitely. Let's go. Let's bring it home.
Let's
Baltimore
go.
through and through. Yeah,
Yes.
M&T Bank.
All righty. Any game day ritual or superstition?
Yes. Once we have established like a winning pattern, I wear the same outfit on my game days. I wash it, I promise, but I wear the same outfit.
I wash
Yes.
it, I promise. That cracks me up. All right, let's see. One thing players might not know about you.
Ooh. Deep down, I truly believe that I'm a 6 and a great 6, but the truth of it is I'm a better center back. I play 4 or 5. So one day someone will see my potential as a 6, but it's not there yet.
She carries the Defender of the Year.
That's right. Thank you.
award. So, all right, let's see here. Favorite sport to watch besides soccer?
Besides soccer, ooh, I can't wait for the Winter Olympics. The ice skating, let's go. It's
What
going to be
about
hype.
bobsledding or like
They are strong people.
crazy people
Crazy.
sometimes?
Yeah.
I like that. I can't wait for the Winter Olympics. Good stuff. What about role model you admire in men's or women's sports, and why?
I love what Emma Hayes is just embodying as a coach. She is like, if I could even emulate her in the slightest, man, I think that would be the coolest thing to even like be remotely compared to. So love what she's doing.
Shout out Emma Hayes. How
Yep.
you doing? All right, one skill every young player should develop.
Shielding.
Good one.
Learn how to shield the ball.
I love that. All right, one thing you love about coaching athletes.
Watching them celebrate their wins.
I love it.
The Sellies, super cool. I don't know half of them anymore because I'm old, but they keep me young, you know? And any hype celebration.
Well, we want to celebrate you. You are amazing. High five. And thank you for being on the line.
Thank you.
Welcome, family. I am sitting here with my buddy, Jimmy Shiflett. Let me tell you, Jimmy does everything. He serves as our Summer Soccer Academy Director. He's the Growing Program Director, as well as our Events and Operational Support Manager right here at MSYSA. So happy to have you, brother. He also coaches the 2013 and 2016 girls over at SAC. Jimmy actually holds the USSFC license for coaching, and you're working on the B license, which is amazing. And he's certified scout as well as a tactical analyst through PFSA, which I thought was the Priestley FIFA Soccer Association, but it's the Professional Football Scouting Association. We'll definitely get into that. And he's approaching 3 years of full-time service right here at MSYSA and in the 7th year of coaching. Jimmy, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm really, really excited to be here. Thank you, Priestley. And the introduction was long, but very, very nice. Thank you so much.
Well, because you have so much under the belt. And for the record, when I first got here, you really helped establish me and set me up with On the Line. So thank you, my friend. Here we are, finally on the podcast. Tell us, where did your journey with soccer begin?
It started really, really late, actually. I got into the game very late for someone in my position and what I do for a living now. I started playing the game around the age of 13.
Really?
Yeah.
That is late.
My parents did not like the game of soccer. They wanted me to be a wrestler and a football player and a baseball player.
So they're really disappointed in you now.
Yeah, they just hate what I'm doing now. They couldn't be more grateful that I found something that I do love, but I was not into soccer when I was a little kid.
And for the record, Mom and Dad, he is the best and he has chosen his path wisely.
I appreciate it. I'm sure they'll be happy to hear that. So I started playing the game pretty late, but I was
13.
very fortunate. We had moved to the out of the Baltimore area into a suburb around BWI, and I met some friends. The first 3 or 4 friends I made were like, you should play soccer. And so they stuck me in goal, of course, because I was the new kid and I was a little bigger. And they were like, jump in the goal. And
How'd you fare?
I did not do well. I was very disappointing in goal. I think I conceded 5 or 6 goals in the first 4 or 5 minutes of being there.
It's a hard position.
It was a lot for me at once. And then within the next 5-6 weeks over the summer, I learned how to play the game, got invested in it, was really excited to make some friends in the area.
Cool.
And then within 2 or 3 years, I was playing decent level travel soccer and continued on through there to where I am now.
So are you local to Maryland? You born and raised here?
Yep. My everyone in my family's lineage is pretty much South Baltimore, born
Love
and raised.
that.
We've lived in the suburbs of Baltimore for a while now. Had some stints elsewhere. Lived in Florida for a few months. Went to school in Virginia, in Roanoke. But I love it here in Maryland, and I think I'll probably be staying here for as long as I can.
Well, we love having you, brother, man. So it's great. So you went from being a player to a coach, and you drew to the coaching side of the game. How come? What made you decide that?
When I reflect now,
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm the oldest sibling of so many, and I've always sort of been a leader of younger people. I look back at my time as a child kind of growing up really quickly and finding myself wanting to take care of my siblings and wanting to kind of be the leader or the mentor for some of the younger players around me. And as I turned 18, 19 and I was in school and I didn't have the opportunity to continue playing the game, I wanted to be involved somehow, and I immediately took to coaching. I found myself coaching the little tots, like the 2 and 3 and 4 year olds, and got invested with an academy in Roanoke called Valley United, and found myself in a position where I was supporting this huge team of coaches and started making it a job, started doing trainings, learning how to coach the game, learning how to coach different age groups. And then I found myself back here looking around, hey, who wants a coach? Who really wants to coach? And found my feet pretty quickly here in Maryland once I got back from school.
Interesting. Then how did you find MSYSA and how did we become teammates?
So this goes back to my original experiences with soccer. The pretty much a long-term, lifelong mentor for me, Gandalf French, who you've met and know well.
Yes.
Who is the technical director for the Maryland State Youth Soccer Association. He was my coach when I was 14, 15, 16.
No kidding.
Yes.
I see relationships.
Yeah. I mean, it's the foundation of everything that we do as we grow. Having the right people around you and the right people who want the right things for you is incredibly valuable. Gandalf was kind of a mentor my whole life, and when I came back to Maryland, he was letting me do some odd jobs for MSYSA, helping with ODP tryouts, or helping with Summer Soccer Academy. I started at Summer Soccer Academy as a camper and a counselor when I was 15, 16. So that was my first introduction to MSYSA, but I really found myself coming back to coach at Summer Soccer Academy when I was 19.
Really?
I've had this pseudo connection to MSYSA since I was a teenager, and found myself when this opportunity arrived, which was very different when I first got the job.
How so?
It was a lot smaller.
Okay.
It's become a much more expanded role. I've developed my own programs. I'm really excited for what's to come with those programs.
We're going to talk about this for sure.
And becoming the director for Summer Soccer Academy is incredible. I mean, to see someone go from being a camper to a counselor to a coach, the assistant to Gandalf as the director.
There you go. I talk about the goosebumps, and you just lit them up, fam. There
it's a step by step, but it makes sense. You want to be. I want to be a leader. I want to be a mentor for these people. So finding myself at the top of that chain has been amazing.
You mentioned that you have a bunch of siblings. How many?
So on a technicality, I have 8.
Wow.
But 6 sisters and a brother. Sorry, 7. 6 sisters and a brother.
You guys can almost field your own team.
Yeah, literally. We could play 7v7 for sure.
For sure. I love
it. But at home with my parents, I have 2 sisters and a brother. A 6-year-old brother. He just turned 6 in October. Aww. And then I have a 2013 sister and a 2007 sister. I see the world through these age groups by the birth years, so.
A total soccer director, you can understand why, because that's how we break them up and everything. It makes total sense. Well, let's get into some Summer Soccer Academy. We call it SSA around here. It is your biggest responsibility, I would probably think, to date right now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not so much because of how long the program runs in person for the kids. It's actually all the planning and the things that go into it ahead of time. I essentially start planning and setting up for the incoming year the day after camp ends.
Incredible.
Whether it's, working with the people at St. James School where we host the camp, the residential school in Hagerstown, or it's, planning with Nike. Can we get the soccer balls? Can we get the right equipment? Can we have everything out there? All that stuff takes time, and getting it set up right at the end of the camp that ends is really helpful.
And typically we've done 2 weeks, and now we've grown to a 3rd week. It just, I think, sings the praises of what MSYSA is doing, what you are leading over there. Let's talk about some of the programs. How does it work? What are the campers looking at doing? And what can the parents be comfortable knowing?
Right. So to quickly start, that 3rd week comes from all of the great work that Gandalf did 8 years leading up to, my 2 years that I've been the full-time director.
We love Gandalf.
there's been a lot of pressure from a lot of parents and everyone involved who are riding that wait list, 200, 300 kids on that wait list every year.
Wow.
Looking to enter the camp. We just haven't had the space. We've finally gotten over the logistical hump and are ready to provide a third week for everyone.
Amazing.
And
Congrats.
I'm really, really excited about that. But again, it comes off of the labor that Gandalf put in and, myself these last 2 years trying to find ways to make that jump to the third week. What can a kid expect? A great time.
Yes.
We have a very simple set of rules for everyone at camp, and it's a tiered set. It's the first and most important thing to the campers, the staff, the counselors, myself, is safety. Obviously, we're trying to keep everything very organized and keeping everyone in the right places and knowing what's going on all times. I think a lot of parents are nervous about sending their kid to a residential camp because I get it completely.
I get it. I respect that.
I answer questions all the time about, where will they be when they're not on the field? When will they eat? Will they eat often enough?
All important questions.
Right. Are you guys certified with the Maryland Department of Health and Human Services?
Yeah,
maybe.
I think so.
Yeah,
And we are.
It would sound like it. Health and hygiene. Sorry, that's what I was looking for. So, is there all the risk management and compliance things done for all the staff members? Do the staff members have background checks? Like, these are the questions that parents ask every year. And
responsible.
Are
It's good questions.
really are we responsible for the campers? And the answer is yes.
100%.
Straightforward.
I can guarantee that.
Yes. So that first tier is safety. That's the most important thing. The second, you would want it to be soccer, but it's actually fun. Will the kids have a good time?
Thank you.
So we spend a lot of time on the field, obviously, but it's all the times in between. And the expectation that the counselors and staff set that, I'm really grateful that you're here to play the game, but it's not all about the game. Let's have a good time.
Speaking of fun, I want to chime in here.
Yeah.
What is your favorite non-soccer activity that takes place at SSA?
That's a tough one. I'm looking back at some of my favorite moments. I think as a camper and a counselor, my favorite thing that would happen was in between things, you're spending time with people from other groups, or maybe some of the other boys on one of the other teams, and you're like, wow, I wish you were in my group because we're having so much fun hanging out, playing ping pong in the dorm. Yeah, you're learning how to socialize at a young age, somewhere disconnected from your usual environment. And I think that's super empowering for a lot of these young people.
And a lot of times on the podcast, we talk about the lessons learned on the field that do translate into just everyday life, and that is a major one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think right now we're in a position in the world where we have so much access to everyone from wherever we are. And without really traveling very far, you can talk to anybody.
It's so cool.
But when you're isolated in an environment where you're not in your usual space, you aren't sitting on your iPad, you aren't playing on your phone, you're talking to people maybe are from 3.5 hours away across Maryland. And it's a really, really unique way to connect with people who maybe aren't in your home environment. And I think that's really beneficial for the long-term social aspects for these kids.
100%. And it's a reason I want to come back for more, to see your friends next summer.
Yeah, for sure. And then that last year, again, so safety, fun, and then we have soccer.
Yes.
That's the part that a lot of these people, that's the selling point, the sticking point for a lot of these families. They want, their kid to go to a camp and play a bunch of soccer. And that's the thing about our camp that I love so much, is it's very straightforward. You're playing and you're resting, and you're playing and you're resting. And we're not putting anything in between, nothing crazy. It's not a silly camp where we're trying to throw 15 things at you. This is about the game at the end of the day. And you want to play it because it's fun.
It's a beautiful campus, air-conditioned dorms. I hear the food is fantastic.
The food has really, really done itself gotten some good reviews in the last couple of years. There's been some big improvements.
Put it there. Congratulations, man. We really are so pumped for the success. And it's probably close to sold out already as we speak, isn't it?
It sure is. That third week opening opened the door for a lot of new people to come in for the first time. So this year we're holding for the first time a pre-camp information meeting. I've never done that before. I've always done on-site in camp. We're having a conversation with the people who are actually there.
Yeah.
But this year with the growing in the scale, it's going to be a little bit harder to have that many people all right in front of me at the same time trying to have that conversation. So this year we're going to hold a pre-camp meeting so that these parents have a little bit more peace of mind even before they show up.
Amazing.
And I think that's a big step for us.
Huge. All right, well, what about for the parents who are watching, like, listen, we don't want to get sold out of this and we want to get our kids in. How can they find out more info right now?
Right now, the simplest way to get there is MSYSA.org. We know that.
MSYSA.org. Now, you know that. And come on, this is one of the greatest programs out there in the entire state. You're the man, Jimmy. I appreciate you being here, brother. It's about time we got you on the line. So thank you so much. Parents, you definitely want your kids in Summer Soccer Academy if you can get in. Good luck. MSYSA.org. But before we let Jimmy go, we got this thing we call the quick kicks.
Nice.
I'm sure you've heard of it. Are you ready?
I'm prepared.
He is
Let's do it.
prepared. All right, let's go. Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi is the greatest player of all time.
There you are. Turf or grass?
Turf is a great resource for the long-term aspect of the game. Grass is a better playing surface.
I completely agree. Turf. All right, yeah, too many torn ACLs. Morning workout or night workout?
I regret every morning workout. So I'm an evenings guy.
Perfect. But honestly, isn't it maybe what's best for the person?
Yeah, absolutely. It's whatever makes you feel the best when you get through the day.
Just work out. Don't be like Priestley. There you go. What's your biggest sports pet peeve?
My biggest sports pet peeve is overreactions.
Overreactions. Good
Yeah.
answer. My wife will tell you I'm the king of overreactions. So if not soccer, what sport?
Definitely basketball. I'm a diehard basketball fan. I love the game. I think it's just like soccer in the way that it's a beautiful translator for life.
I love that. All right, we're going to switch just for a second here, keeping it in the sporting world. Favorite video game?
So, I mean, some of you may know I did play video games for a living at one point in my life.
Rumor has it,
yes.
e-sport over here.
Yes. Apex Legends is my favorite game of all time. Little nerdy, but just a fun game. I think it takes a lot of thoughtfulness and diligent practice to be one of the best in the world at that game. Which
I love it.
I
And
was
that
at one
he
point.
is.
I was at one point. Yeah, for sure.
Super cool. Let me get a fist bump on that one, man. I used to love playing video games. Unfortunately, I feel like I've gotten outmoded. They got real hard. All right. Last but not least, and super important, who will be winning the 2026 World Cup?
As a homer, I should probably be saying the United States.
USA.
It feels
USA.
unlikely. If I was a betting man,
It's fair. I'm with you.
yeah, if I was a betting man, I'd throw it on Spain.
I love it.
I'd throw it on Spain.
Fam, the man. He does it all around MSYSA. Jimmy, thank you for being on the line.
Thank you so much.